Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Kelly, for your indulgence. And I will tell you that some of these questions might seem really easy, and it might be because they are. So I would start off by querying whether $44.1 billion is greater than $42.4 billion.
It is.
Okay. And so would it be reasonable to suggest to anyone decrying a massive slashing of the Homeland Security budget is being hyperbolic, if not maybe even more sort of Chicken Little-ish, if I were to suggest that?
Right. No.
Okay. And so what we've actually seen with this budget is a reappropriation of Homeland Security dollars, correct?
Right.
And in fact, that reappropriation was done with the intent of securing to the best of our ability, with finite resources, the Homeland within the purview and scope of this particular portion of the budget?
Yeah, that was the intent.
Yes, sir. And let me ask you another question that might seem easy. It seems so to me. Is securing our southwest border important to Homeland Security?
It's very important.
Okay. And is building a barrier in areas where it's practicable and where there aren't terrain or remoteness situations that cause it to be unnecessary important to securing our southwest border?
Barriers, physical barriers backed up by people and technology are critically important to secure the border.
Yes, sir. And so generally speaking, and I understand this is a broad generalization, is it easier to stop attackers? Let's use the paradigm that you described with cocaine seizures on the side of production versus inside the United States versus man hours, manpower, and dollars spent. Is it easier to stop would-be evildoers prior to entering the country or after they're already in the country?
Prior to entering is the way to do it.
And so that might be a reason that someone might prioritize securing our borders.
That's one of the prime reasons.
Okay. Changing the subject somewhat tangentially, but I think certainly related. Do you, and I don't know the answer to this one for a change, do you know if operator license, driver's license applicants are screened against the TSDB?
I would have to take that for the record, right?
I would love for you to.
I believe so, but let me take it for
well, if you could, that'd be wonderful and greatly appreciated. I think it's a relevant question. Because I think then the next question becomes, if we use the TSDB against operators license, driver's license applicants, and not against, but to screen, right, name, date of birth, social security number, is that also done in states that issue operators licenses to undocumented immigrants, that is, resident permits, et cetera?
I'd have to get back to you.
Okay.
But I will get back to you.
And I'm not trying to make you look bad. These are, I think,
these are way down in the guts of the department. But
yes, sir. And I can see that on the front end. I always wonder what we can do in this body to help you do what I believe you, at your word, are trying to do. And I'm walking down that road here a little bit. Are you familiar with the IAFIS, the Integrated Automated Fingerprint Identification System?
Yeah.
And are you familiar with the fact that the vast bulk of data gathered through the Integrated Automated Fingerprint Identification System is submitted to the FBI voluntarily? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you know, or could you have someone get back to us on whether states that or cities or states that exercise sanctuary policies actually collect and voluntarily submit fingerprint data on individuals they believe to not be here as legal residents?
I will get back to you, but I doubt it. I very much doubt that.
Wouldn't that?
I mean, the cooperation is pretty poor when they get into this sanctuary city thing.
And so might it not put our nation at risk if we have a locality that decides not to submit fingerprints on identified criminal suspects or theoretically criminals because they choose not to voluntarily coordinate with the FBI's fingerprint system?
There's no doubt, Congressman, the more we have in the database, the better we are in terms of identifying bad actors, whether they're terrorists or criminals.
And that would be my next question, and that is, the bad actors that we catch might not just be habitual drunk drivers who certainly have the ability to impact horror, but potentially foreign extremist terrorist elements as well.
No doubt.
Okay, I got 38 seconds. Let's see what we can do. On cyber defense, do you know how many different government entities play a role, ballpark?
A large number, but I think, you know, in terms of the non-defense, non-intelligence kind of effort, DHS is the overall coordinator within the government.
Yes, sir, and which is why I'm asking you for your reassurances that the coordination between these entities is important. Obviously, you're well aware that prior to 9/11, one of the problems that we learned of afterwards was that we had some intelligence, but the left hand wasn't talking to the right. Will you ensure me that you're doing everything you can to make sure that that information is cross-channeled on cyber, and that we're also coordinating with the private sector, and that's,
Absolutely, and as I just described briefly, when I saw that, when I was in the Situation Room watching the spread of that malware, it was really comforting to me at how many people in our government were all coordinating and had been from the minute they detected the fact that there was an attack. Really
thank you so
impressive.
much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.